up at UFC Vegas 64, we have Tagir Ulanbekov taking on Nate Maness. Tagir Ulanbekov, 13-2 overall. 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that disappointing loss to Tim Elliott. Nate Maness is 14-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the grappling heavy loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. This is a tricky fight because if you didn't see the odds and you only watched their last couple of fights, this is not how you would have capped this. This is not how you would have laid out these odds because Tagir's coming off that loss to Tim Elliott. And my notes on that fight, because we watch the fights, I take notes on every single fight so I can come back, read my notes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
You read your notes?
And for $10 a month, you could have access to those raw notes. Anyway, Tagir didn't wrestle nearly as much as he should have at all. He got taken down way too easily from somebody who is not as good of a wrestler as him. And he just overall didn't look very good. He did almost finish the fight. He was closer to finishing the fight. But he was taken down easily, didn't shoot when he should have shot. And because of that, I think I like Nate Maness here in the underdog spot. It actually worries me what a huge underdog he is. What a fucking asshole. But I do think, I think he can get it done. I think he can get it done. Frankly, Nate Maness is a bigger guy for the division. In his 3 UFC wins, he's got a takedown in every single one of them. Yes, he's coming off that loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, but okay, fine. He got out-wrestled by a dude who's been wrestling since he was 2 days old. But before that, he knocked out Tony Gravely and defended 5 takedowns. So his takedown defense is solid. His takedown offense is solid. He's got decent submissions, decent power, decent kickboxing, super tough, willing to slug it out. I think I like Nate Maness here to win this fight. And for you to act like that is fucking nuts. He lost to Tim Elliott, dude.
Why do you get so upset? I didn't even say anything.
You sat back.
I was looking at a headline that North Korea has fired 10 missiles into the sea towards South Korea, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? So, I mean, that's real life happening right now. But yeah, I think that Tim Elliott fight was a very weird fight for Tagir because I think he definitely underestimated Tim Elliott, and Tim Elliott is a very unorthodox dude. They mentioned it in the fight as he's fighting. You cannot train for what Tim Elliott brings to that fight. So there was a lot of unorthodox striking, a lot of unorthodox angles coming out of the striking, and because of the unorthodox style, also the takedowns were there because he does some weird, leaning stuff, and all of a sudden you think he's striking, but all of a sudden the takedowns are there. So there was a lot of that fight that was Tagir being taken off guard because of the weird style of Tim Elliott. So I don't want to, put a lot of money in that fight as far as like, oh, he lost to Tim Elliott, so now he's not any good anymore. He when he wanted to wrestle, he was I don't want to say he was dominating the wrestling, and the path to victory is just that. You saw Umar do the exact same thing to Maness. He took him down, was able to control him. I think that was a great wake up call for Tagir against somebody that he should not have lost to. Right? I mean, I'm not going to say that it's like, oh, whatever. He shouldn't have lost that fight, but It happened. He learned from it. Khabib was screaming at him the entire fight, like basically, like we were talking about with what's his name in the earlier, like what the hell, what are you doing right now? He just kind of got caught up in the moment. He thought, this is a guy that I can stand with, having some success with the takedowns. Let me try and knock this dude out. And he lost the decision because of it. I think it was a close fight. I can't remember if people thought that he won that decision or not.
No, it was Tim Elliott was grabbing the gloves, and he was doing some veteran savvy tricks. And even the announcers were saying it like, "Oh, that's a little tricky, veteran savvy." The reality is, I'm not saying Tagir sucks. He lost to Tim Elliott. I'm saying Tagir was frustrating to watch. He was too easily taken down. Grabbing gloves has nothing to do with that. I don't want to hear anybody talk, well, you cheated. Getting taken down, it had nothing to do with that. Not shooting takedowns, tell me how grabbing the gloves affected Tagir to not shoot takedowns. He was very frustrating, didn't do what he was supposed to do to win that fight. Yes, when they were on the ground, his gloves were being grabbed and it was hard to do stuff. Who cares? It's the getting taken down too easily and not shooting, which is what bothered me. And Nate's got solid takedown defense, solid takedown accuracy, and he gets takedowns. That's why I like Nate. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think that if Tagir ended up winning that fight, I don't think I would have liked him as much in this fight for the reason that you mentioned, because he wasn't doing what he needed to do, and it wasn't going to be quite a wake-up call that he needed. I think that camp is locked in now. They've got the champ there with the Islam. I think this is a Tagir play all the way. I'm very high on him. I know that Nate is like the popular underdog pick. I get it. He is going to be live on the feet, but I think Tagir can do what he needs to do on the feet to get this fight to the ground and to control the positions. I think he is going to be a man on a mission in this fight, and I get the Nate plays. Listen, I'm not going to argue with you about that, but I'm Tagir in this matchup.
Yeah, listen, I originally had Ulanbekov. Like, I looked at it quickly, I made my pick, and then I went back and watched the fight. I read my notes, and I was like, how frustrating Tagir was in that fight. So I was like, let me watch this before I lean on this pick. And then I rewatched that fight. I'm like, man, I can't trust this guy. A 2-1 favorite, I can't trust this guy to do what he's supposed to do to win the fight. He didn't do it last time. And your pick is based off of the fact that you're assuming he's learned from that, which I assume he has as well. But my point is,
that was like the only fight he's ever done that, and I think it was just a weird, Tim Elliott, he baits people into, he gets in your face, he taunts you, he's yelling at you, he's screaming at you. I think he just, that's what he does. He gets in people's heads, and Tagir was like, fuck this guy, let me try and knock this dude out, and it cost him a win. I think Nate is much more orthodox, and he's just can stick to the game plan.
Yeah, obviously we're split here. I recognize Tagir's very good, but I do like Nate plus 182. I might do a half a unit somewhere. We'll see what happens. We'll see when it gets a little closer. I get nervous when I like an underdog that's that big because then I'm
nervous in my life.
Okay, let me take you to a large crowd. Ask you to talk to a strange girl. See if
I'll be on stage. I'll be on stage with my pants down.
I bet.
You hear that thing hit the floor.
Why would your pants be down? Prove it.
Onlyfans.com/thefreckled
$7,600. Listen, you can't build a DraftKings lineup with only favorites. It's not possible. So $7,600. I don't mind that price point for a guy like Nate that could potentially get some takedowns and get this fight won. Do you like Tagir enough at the $8,600? Like, you're that confident?
I think it's pretty good value for somebody that can get takedowns and control like him, and it's good on the feet as well. I think it's pretty good value.
Somebody called it Godzilla's tail. Congratulations, Jacob.
It's close. It just doesn't have the warts like the.
Every
once in a while you get the flare ups, but we've got it under control for the most part.
Nothing some penicillin can't knock out of there. Anyway, the Monkey Knife Fight strike line 79.57. I'm not touching it. A few of these lines early we loved. This one I don't like because somebody's not going to land many punches at all. Whoever's executing the grappling game plan is who's going to get it done. The other person's going to be on their back, not scoring that well. So I'm going to leave that alone. DraftKings, obviously I like Nate, and Nate's an underdog, so I'll probably mess with that. Frankly, as a 2-1 underdog, maybe I expected a little bit of a bigger discount than $7,600. It's still solid. There's a 7 in front of it, which is great, but I was hoping for like 74, something to that effect. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com/bets. If you sign up with any one of our betting partners and make a deposit, we send you $50. That's it. We literally send you $50. We just caught up. We got everybody in October paid. It is now November. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners. Make a deposit. We will send you $50 as a thank you and become a premium member. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member. It's $10 a month. It's $10 a month. You get all the bets, all the picks, a DraftKings optimizer. If you guys do FanDuel, which I don't know how many do, we have a full FanDuel suite of content where we're ranking fighters by salary, putting people in pools, and it's incredible the content that we have up there for FanDuel as well. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member.